All right. So today we have a Q&A session. Okay. So let us go to the screen sharing for tonight. Okay. Okay, let's go to the first question. Not too difficult. Wisdom is uncommon and really free of the influences of sense and perception. In my meditation practice, I see more calmness and energy, but there is no thoughts. The body goes numb, especially the legs, hands, and a feeling like paralysis or stuck, unable to move. A feeling of fear initially has over time been overcome, and the body starts to shiver gently like a cat purring, and the hair standing on odds end. The breath is faint, it remains bright, and it gets brighter. The breath is totally not felt. There is no fear, but just a tranquil nature of where no condition arises. No condition arises, but a feeling like being in a liquid setting jelly. Very cooling and buoyant. Slowly the feeling like moving in a fast speeding car and watching a blank space passing at a rapid speed. I remain stable and not engaging this can go on for a while. It gets very strenuous when I start to reason or get involved. The development of seeing things from arising and falling and present, appearing like a bright radiant light, arising like a shining laser, like a sparkling diamond. When I'm out of my sitting, that's about over an hour and a half, I feel fresh, alive, and happy. How do you not get caught into associating knowledge with what appears as an eventful moment in the sitting? My participation to relate with the situation creates a direct disconnect to the being present. Some advice on handling the characteristic of anicca and anatta to avoid dukkha. Okay, all right. There are a number of things you already get caught into it now. Now, first of all, that calm and tranquil nature that if you are doing. Now again here, I do not know what you are doing. Whether you are doing in a samatha or whether you are doing in a vipassana. Now if let's say you are doing in vipassana, then the first paragraph, it's also already a problem already. In fact, there are two problems here. It's quite a very clear problem. One thing is that your calm and tranquil nature, when you have if you're doing until your legs feel paralyzed or stuck or unable to move, then this one is already goes to show you that the concentration has become slightly too much already. It's not in a sense of balance anymore. You are not able to see what is really going on if you are using the in-breath, out-breath, you're not seeing what is happening in the in-breath, out-breath. You're only going into calmness. And these are all the signs of calmness is coming, it's there, and it's getting stronger. But then in the last line you said that you want to start to get engaged with it, with trying to reason with it or get involved in it, and it gets strenuous because of course the concentration is still there, and you want to start thinking about it. This one also is become a problem. You're shifting from one extreme, you shift to another extreme of thinking, of reasoning. And this one paragraph, there's two major things that you are doing something, you get stuck, especially with that calmness and that clarity. That one you got to be careful. Now, if you are doing vipassana meditation, this type of calmness, you got to note them. Note them in the sense that you got to note it as calmness, 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 calmness. Or bring your attention back to the in-breath, out-breath and keep noticing what happened to the in-breath, out-breath. Now, if you cannot find any form of in-breath, out-breath and your tranquility is getting stronger, my advice to you is that go shift your attention to another part of your body, which is more clearer. And take a look at that in order to build up the mindfulness again. Now the mindfulness is not able to catch up with that concentration, with that calmness. Then you will get a lot of all this type of calmness. You can sit for long. Just now you can say that you come out, you feel good, you feel nice. Yes. It's going to go like that because that calmness is there. The mind don't have to exercise anything. So this is the one thing you've got to be careful. Now the second thing you got to be careful is that you should not get involved into try to reason with it and try to start thinking about it, especially your reason if it's connected to the sutta or connected to a lot of other things, you got to be careful. If you want to reason something up, just a very short while, and it's regarding about how to make the mind clear again. Kind of like you're able to recall how to make the mind mindful again, to make it more aware of what is going on. Rather than thinking of all kinds of other things. So you got to be careful. One thing is that, like a second paragraph, also the same thing, you see. The second paragraph, it says that when you are not exercising much of especially the wisdom factor, which is I'm going to talk about it also in Monday. But to let you all know first a little bit is that once you don't exercise the thoroughness of noting or the precision of noting in your rising, falling, or in-breath, out-breath, or whatever sensation that you are paying attention to, or even the mind also, then what happened to your meditation is that you're going to feel just like very calm, pleasant, peaceful, nothing much. But when you exercise thoroughness in noticing, then that time you'll find that the energy is involved, the concentration is involved, and then you try to notice other here and there. And sometimes when the meditation happens, when you come out from the meditation, you feel a bit strenuous and you feel tired sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you feel tired, but you feel good. You feel good because the mind can able to see what is really going on. So here, when the five faculties, especially when the five faculties missing that part of wisdom, then although your mindfulness and concentration, they are there, they are quite continuous, and the meditation feels very, very easy, very nice. And nowadays also, as I said, many people opt this way, or those people that I've heard of are known, When I hear this, when they start to, like, for example, take note of the state of mind. You take note of the state of mind. You know it as, oh, right now I'm sitting here, I got greed arises in me. I mean, it's still good, it's still good. Not to say it's bad. Greed arises in me. I know there's anger arises in me. I can do this way of noticing how the heart arises, how the mind is there, what type of mind. Is it an expanded, closed mind? Yes, it is still wholesome, not to say it's unwholesome. But this time, you still haven't exercised much of your precision noting yet. You haven't exercised the wisdom factor. You haven't exercised the clear comprehension. Yes, sati is there, not to say that it's not there. Because you can aware of the greed that arises at the moment. You feel, for example, if you are outside, if you just sit down and you feel relaxed, you feel nice, you look at the surrounding, you feel good. you feel joyful, then yes, at least you are present with the mind, with the mental states, which is wonderful. But you haven't crossed into vipassana yet. This is fundamental for vipassana to arise, but you have not gone through that yet. So nowadays, there's a lot of meditation in the name of vipassana. In the name of vipassana, they do this type of meditation because it's easy, and they don't realize that the wisdom factor is not coming up. Once the wisdom factor come up, you will see a lot of dukkha, and you cannot run away. Dukkha is very much part of our whole nature of this mind and body. But the thing is that you are the one who avoid dukkha, you see. You want to see anicca, dukkha, anatta, or you want to avoid dukkha. Dukkha is part of the whole thing. Dukkha is part of the game. Yeah. Dukkha is part of the whole enlightenment. Without seeing dukkha, you're not able to see this anatta or even the anicca or the deeper aspect of anicca. And then the dukkha comes in many forms, not just only pain here, pain there. It really comes in at very unsatisfactory level, unreliable. This type of things are not necessarily just pain. So you see, the thing is that if you are doing vipassana, your mind has to be open enough. Although you may have a lot of knowledge, whatever knowledge that you have, but when you come to meditation, a lot of times we get stuck. We get stuck, and the thing is that I'm trying to push over to you, to all of you actually, that all these talks, I have to push it to you all that this meditation is so much more important than just reading and try to reasoning. Of course, you still need those things. If without those things, you cannot come into meditation. But a lot of times we get stuck in the thinking, in the reasoning. And then we want to reason even in our meditation also. That is a problem. So here, if you are doing vipassana, make sure that while you are doing it, when the calmness is coming in, you've got to make an effort to really pay attention to your object or start noting the calmness itself. Calmness. Just learn to label it. A lot of people don't like to do this way. Just note calmness. What is there? Just not like that. Calmness. Just not rising, falling. What is there? Just do not like that. This is exactly because we don't have faith or we don't have trust in the development of the mental factors. I mean, it takes some time. You are not able to see just one sitting and then that's all, or even one retreat and then you can see everything. You've got to trust. You've got to trust how the factors of enlightenment starts growing in you. Yeah? So sometimes it's just that, noting it as it is. If the calmness come in, you note it as it is. Calmness, and see how the calmness is changing. So next time you please, when you pay attention to this in-breath, out-breath, or rising, falling, or sensation and all that thing, then only this deeper aspect of anicca, dukkha, and anatta will come in. Don't expect that you're going to be able to see it. Don't expect that you think you know anicca. Don't expect that you think you know anatta or you think you know dukkha. Just you think that you know your buttock painful a little bit only, you think you know dukkha already. It's so much more deeper than that. You cannot find those things in the books. You've got to experience those things direct, firsthand. Even my job is to guide you to go there and dare to see for yourself. And my job is done. It's up to all of you. So here, as I said, you have to take note of it. Now, if you are doing samatha meditation, If you're doing samatha meditation and you're doing in-breath, out-breath, anapanasati, as a samatha practice, okay, fine. But you still need a lot of mindfulness. The mindfulness in order for you to be alert and aware of your in-breath, out-breath. If so happen, your in-breath, out-breath begins to fade away and your mind starts to become calm and peaceful and nothing much happening right now, like calm, peaceful, tranquil, sometimes a bit of brightness. It can be what you written here too, it can be calm. And here doesn't mean that your samatha meditation is going forward, right now. The samatha meditation right now is going sideways already. It's because of that craving, that is attachment to this calmness. And a lot of samatha meditators get caught into it. They thought that they are going further. But as I said, you should not fall into that trap. You should go back to the in-breath, out-breath again. Now, if the in-breath, out-breath cannot find, get up and do some walking. Build up that mindfulness again. Come back and sit again until your in-breath, out-breath is clear to you without going into anicca, dukkha, anatta. Just the in-breath, out-breath. And the in-breath, out-breath has to be alert. It is anapanasati, It's not anapana tranquility going in and then nothing much, It's with the sati has to be there all the way. And that means you have to be alert and clear. Even your object becomes soft and peaceful and calmer, but your mind is still alert, fully alert, not like you're halfway sleep or halfway alert, neither here nor there. That is something wrong with even with the samatha practice already. It needs a lot of mindfulness in order just to sustain the in-breath, out-breath, or whatever meditation object that you are doing, even if you are doing metta or karuna or whatsoever. It still needs a lot of mindfulness. Okay? All right. Next question, which is I also mentioned a little bit earlier. A Dhamma speaker said that it is better for one to study the suttas before one starts to practice meditation. To me, I don't think it is necessary. Am I right, Bhante? Kindly advise. Thank you, Bhante. Okay, now, this question also is difficult to answer. Because not every one of us have capability like during in the Buddha's time, Now, you see, some of the monks during in the Buddha's time, or even the ascetic that come to the Buddha during the Buddha's time, they don't need some of them. I wouldn't say all. Some of them they don't need lengthy suttas or suttas after suttas or listening even from the many words from the Buddha. They don't really need necessary. Sometimes the Buddha is delivering a sermon. Before they finish the sermon, they're already enlightened, at least at the first stage already. These people, their wisdom factor is very sharp, and of course they has already built up from their past life. Now some of us, we need some degree of understanding of the sutta. We need some degree of understanding of the sutta, and especially connected with the practice that you want to do. Now take for example, you need to know a little bit of Satipatthana Sutta. You may not know everything and every nook and cranny about the sutta and its commentary and everything. You may not know those things, but at least you know there's such a sutta that exists. There's such a sutta that you can be found and can be read. Perhaps you are, as I said, you may not able to understand everything, but at least you may able to understand something. And some of the suttas that may be connected with this Satipatthana, say for example, connected with karma, connected with precepts, some of it connected with a bit of dependent origination. You may not able to understand it. Also, is perfectly all right. So there must be, for most of us, for currently right now, we need a little bit or some degree of understanding of sutta. At least when we go to different places and we meet with different meditation teachers, because some of us do that. When they meet with different meditation teachers, and sometimes some teachers just luan lai. They speak all kinds of things, speak all kinds of mumbo jumbo, and speak all kinds of power and soul and amulets and everything, At least when you read in the sutta didn't say this thing. How come this monks or teachers are speaking all these other things? So at least you have some degree of background to protect you, So you may need to go to somebody who is knowledgeable enough or who has proper practice to inquire, to trash it out, to straighten everything out, to straighten those views. So it is some degree of sutta is still important. But do you need to study everything of them? Nah, not necessary. Not necessary. But there are some people like it, Some people like it because they are more thinking type, more rational type. They love to study and all that thing. So for most people, they don't need to study everything, but you need some small degree of understanding the sutta. So how much is much? That's all depend on you. That all depends on you. A lot of times we don't even know where are the words of the Buddha arises from. A lot of these, Buddhist people, a lot of Buddhists, when we see how they come into a temple, they never ever open up Majjhima Nikaya or Anguttara Nikaya or whatever, At least here right now, sometimes in the Dhamma talk, I share with some of the suttas with you because I know some of you never opened before, never know what is inside before. At least here and there you see here and there, and then it's fine, no problem, At least it's good. But it will be good that at least in the future you may able to have this type of books and to look at it a little bit here and there. It can be very helpful. So, as I said again, you don't need all the suttas. You need some of it, and to help you, to protect you. Okay, but as I said again, some people don't really do much of it, just a little bit, and then their sense of urgency has already developed, very strong, very powerful. They can able to meditate very far. Okay. No. All right. Even after you start meditation, and you start going further into meditation, and this is where you will learn more actually. Especially when you come into a retreat, for example, a lot of things you may not heard before. You may not hear from when you are doing dana, for example, or when you go to a temple, for example, when you're doing service here and there. This type of knowledge you're not able to hear it regards in meditation. You only have to come into a meditation retreat, and then you will hear even more about the suttas that's connected to it, about the practice that's connected to it. Then we practice and learn, practice and learn, practice and learn, and practice and learn, and further we go. Okay? So at least a little bit of sutta will be good for all of us. All right. This is the second question. Third question is not that difficult, although it looks long. Does this confirm that certain kinds of skeptical doubt still exist even in the Sakadagami? Okay. Now here, the question is here. I'll take you back to the proper sutta. Here, I think this must be from a Mahasi Sayadaw's book. Now, the one that I underlined here, Next time, you want to send me a photo of a book, of a book or of a page that you are going to do, or you want to send it to me. What you should do is this: you should try to make the page as flat as possible. Yeah? You have to make it as flat as possible, either by you clip it somewhere or you use a hand to this one. Then after that, when you send it to me, although you send it in WhatsApp to Sister Hun Lei, later on when she pass it to me, I can able to make it more brighter, clearer, bigger. I can crop here and there, So those things I can able to do it. I can edit it a little bit here and there to make things easier to read. But especially when this one, sometimes the pages are all, it curve up a little bit. So sometimes it get a bit difficult to read, because sometimes the words from the end of the sentence, sometimes it get caught in the fold. So this one you take just this one. Keep it in mind. Okay. Now, this King Mahanama, that it says that I failed to devote my mind to the Buddha through fright and forgetfulness. I've indeed lost my attention to the Dhamma and failed to keep it in my memory of this noble Sangha. Okay. Oh Lord, at that time, skeptical doubt crept into my mind. This doubt may be described in this manner. Okay. Now, here, the translation here says that the skeptical doubt crept into my mind. Let me take you back to the original sutta that Mahasi Sayadaw used for this one. Okay, let me go there. Okay, where is it? Okay. Can you all see? Mahanama. Okay, hold on. I make it bigger a little bit. Make it bigger. Wider. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. Okay. Here is in the text is in Samyutta Nikaya. Sotapani Magga is almost at the end already in the Samyutta Nikaya. Mahanama 1. Thus have I heard, on one occasion the Blessed One was dwelling, let me move this thing, among the Sakyans at Kapilavatthu in Nigroda's park. Then Mahanama the Sakyan approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side and said to him, Venerable Sir, this Kapilavatthu is rich and prosperous, populous, crowded with congested thoroughfares. In the evening, when I entering Kapilavatthu after visiting the Blessed One, or the bhikkhus worthy of esteem, I came across a stray elephant, a stray horse, a stray chariot, a stray cart, a stray man. On that occasion, Venerable Sir, my mindfulness regarding the Blessed One becomes muddled. My mindfulness regarding the Dhamma becomes muddled. My mindfulness regarding the Sangha becomes muddled. The thought then occurs to me, if at this moment I should die, I what? Wait. What did I? If I should die, what would be my destination? What would be my future born? Okay. Don't be afraid, Mahamana. Don't be afraid. Your death will not be a bad one. Your demise will not be a bad one. When a person's mind has been fortified over a long time by faith, virtue, learning, generosity, and wisdom, right here, crows, vultures, hawks, dogs, jackals, or various creatures eat his body, consisting of form, composed of four great elements, originating from mother and father, built up out of rice and gruel, subject to impermanence, to be worn and rubbed away, to be breaking apart and dispersal. But his mind, which has been fortified over a long time by faith, virtue, learning, generosity, and wisdom, that goes upward, goes to distinction. Okay? Okay. Suppose Mahanama, a man submerges a pot of ghee or a pot of oil in a deep pool of water and breaks it. All its shards and fragments would sink downwards, but the ghee or oil would rise upwards. So to Mahanama, when a person's mind has been fortified over a long time by faith, virtue, learning, generosity, and wisdom, right here crows and so on, our various creatures eat his body and so on. But his mind, which has been fortified over a long time by faith, virtue, learning, generosity, by wisdom that goes upward, goes to distinction. Okay, sorry. Don't be afraid, Mahanama. Don't be afraid. Your death will not be a bad one. Your demise will not be a bad one. Okay. Now, here, this Mahanama is already a Sotapanna. This Mahanama is already a Sotapanna. But you see, a Sotapanna's mind, it can able to get his mindfulness becomes muddled. Here the Pali word, because you see, at this juncture here, you need to know a little bit of the Pali here. Because now, in Pali, they use the word mindfulness, and muddled mind, it's opposite of each other, opposite of each other. Let me show you for the fun of it. Okay. Let me show you. Even you do not know Pali, that doesn't matter. Let me show you. Okay. Patama, Mahanama Sutang. Patama means, if in the Malay is Patama. Patama means what? First lah. Patama Mahanama Sutang. Just now is Mahanama number 1. So Patama, so 1. So here it is mentioned here, the one that is being muddled here. Tasma mayang bante, tasming samaya musatewa, Bhagawantang arabasati, musati, Dhammang arabasati, musati, Sangham arabasati. Now the word sati here, although it is used as mindfulness, but actually it's more of able to remember right now, Not just only the present mindfulness, that what we do in the rising, falling, sitting, touching, those things, But here the word sati here is that at that time when the elephant comes, when this thing come in, it makes his mind like cannot able to recollect the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. Okay? Because his mind is being fearful right now. So the word is musati. Musati is like an opposite of the word sati, as the sati here as recollecting, remembering the Buddha. So here musati means like the mind become like careless, like the mind become forget about the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, because it's overcome by fear and or sometimes even in other situation may be overcome by sadness and so on, So here the thing is that let me share back the screen to you on the okay, can see, all right. Now here the mindfulness here and becomes a muddled mind. It's that during this time when the stray horse coming in and so on, the mind cannot, this Sotapanna, they have not cut off fear, sadness, and so on, They still have those fear. And it can be quite strong with them when the situation arises. And when the fear arises, of course, they cannot able to remember the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. So that's why they put the word muddled here. And I see another translation, another translator in the internet also, and they use the word muddled, which is in a way appropriate over right now. Now, here, as a Sotapanna also, a Sotapanna, when they meditate, they know about the five aggregates as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Very clearly, they see it themselves. But in regards to future life, most of the Sotapanna may not able to see it. For example, that, okay, now you have already attained Sotapanna. Now, but the Buddha says that how many lives left? 7 lives left. But the 7 lives still left. For the Sotapanna, he can't see whether how many more lives is still in front of him. He can only experience what is being going on with the mind and body, and he reached Sotapanna. But because he don't have the psychic power or whatever power that he have, he cannot able to see how many more lives to go. That belongs to those who have those powers that they can able to see how many lives to go. So that's why if at this moment I should die, what will be my destination? What would be my future birth will become? What my destination. So the Buddha says, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Now, even the Sotapanna also cannot see in the next life whether he's going to be reborn in the human life, Deva life, or even an animal life also. But the Buddha says that as a Sotapanna, then there's these 4 woeful states has been closed. But the Sotapanna himself, he cannot able to see the future life. For most of the Sotapanna, which is not, doesn't come with those type of powers. So it is relying on the words of the Buddha. They are relying on the words of the Buddha. So it is understandable that when the Mahanama, when it comes to this thing, there may be fear arises. But this type of fear is not skeptical doubt. The fear here, it is fear, but it's not skeptical doubt. Because as we all know, skeptical doubt is already eradicated by Sotapanna. So from there onwards, but then sometimes people may think, hey, but you still have doubtful about your future. You're still doubtful about your next destiny. So isn't it skeptical doubt in that sense? If the question asked, So here, this is not the skeptical doubt that what we are talking, This is not the skeptical doubt of what the Buddha is mentioning here. This is the skeptical doubt as a vicikicca that is connected with defilements and wrong view. Whereas this one, it is not. Now, even let me go back to your question again. Now, here, you ask the question whether skeptical still exists even in the Sakadagami or not. But here, I think this, no. I think this book, if Mahasi Sayadaw, you send another photo, another season. Then let me go this one for you. Okay. However, no. Okay, just before the however, let me go. Okay. Now you read, What state is abandoned by me internally, which appear in the Chulakanda Sutta? It should be understood that some Sotapannas and Sakadagamis are likely to have doubts about their future existence or destiny after demise. Yeah? And because just now, why they have doubt? Because, as I said, explain it to you all, that they do not have the psychic power to see the future. And they may also have doubts relating to the defilements, to whether this has been rejected or not. The reason is that these defilements are not able to be eradicated or not, because, as I said, sometimes enlightened ones, when their wisdom factor is not sharp enough or deep enough, it's hard for even the Sotapanna to know whether which defilement is already eradicated or not eradicated. Although they may rely on the words of the Buddha, but they may not be able to see it themselves. I think I mentioned this even right in when we talk about Third Noble Truth, when we go through all the 16 insight knowledges, and especially when it comes to the number 16th insight knowledge. That's number 16 after enlightenment, where the 16th one is ability, whether you can able to see which defilements already eradicated and which defilements are not eradicated. And I said also, only some enlightened ones can able to have that quality to differentiate which one it is and which one it is not. So here, because of that, then therefore, it is said that this one doubts relating to the defilements which has been rejected or not. However, it cannot be said that that skeptical doubt has not been abandoned on the grounds that such doubt are still present has just been stated. The reason being, these kinds of thought entangled with doubt are not vichikicha nor kilesa, which should or ought to be rejected. Only 8 or 16 kinds of doubt which have wrong view as personality, the sufficing condition, attaditi upanisaya, and has been described in the section of Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi, are defilements as skeptical doubt and should be abandoned. Now, the type of skeptical abandon here is that, or the wrong view that abandon here is regarding with, you think that these 5 aggregates, your mind or your body, must be somewhat permanent, must be somewhat pleasant, and is somewhat self or a soul. If you hold on to this type of views, if you still hold on to this type of views, of course, that person is still not a Sotapanna. But because the Sotapanna have seen for himself, directly seen for himself that all this mind, the process of mind and matter is always arising and passing away, and they cannot stop. Because of that, we see it as anicca, or we see it as dukkha, or we see it as anatta. And then the doubt about that type of views does not arise anymore. It is all eradicated. So the vichikicha that's connected with the defilements still will not able to arise, but the doubting about future lives, about this does not fall under skeptical doubt or vichikicha. Does not fall under vichikicha. So it's perfectly correct that when the Sakadagami or Sotapanna or Sakadagami, the first stage or second stage, all this unwholesome skeptical doubt is already eradicated. Okay, so this is what it meant over here. all this, as I said, that this is meant over here. So you must differentiate the unwholesome type of doubt. That day when I think I talk about something about on wisdom or doubt, something to wisdom of faith at that time. I mentioned also on the there are Mara who came to put doubt into a practitioner or into the monk or into the nun. Then the minor still able to doubt whether that person that he see, whether it's a Buddha or not. Because sometimes the Mara will make himself like a Buddha, come in front of a monk and then tempt the monk or to create all kinds of wrong words. Then even the monk itself may be doubtful. Hey, is it the Buddha speak like that? Then they know. Then they know that this is just a Mara, 做鬼做怪. Make all kinds of disturb the monks. So this is something like that. This is something on the this one. Let me see. Okay. So no more questions already. So any questions from all of you? Any verbal questions? If you want, or you can type it down, or if you want, you can. Where's the hand signal? Also, I forgot where is it already. Yeah. So, any question? All right. If there's no question, okay. Since there's no questions, if you want to have any questions, sometimes you cannot unmute yourself. You got to put what do you call that? Raise your hand, and then there's one supposed to be raising the hand there. I forgot where is it also. Sometimes so long didn't use already. All other functions around here. Or if you do not know where's the raise the hand, you just type at the chat there. Okay. Under reaction, that's right. Raise hand. Oh yeah, correct. Under reaction. Okay. All right. Anybody? No question? It's okay. Then we can finish earlier. Okay, since there's no question, well and good, fine. We'll stop here a little bit earlier. Okay. So
there's a question.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. Hi, Bhante. You mentioned before there are meditators who get stuck at their current level and cannot progress further. Yes, of course. There are people like that, and there are many people like that. And some people get stuck and they still do not know where they are stuck. And their wisdom seems to penetrate further, which is also very true. This is in the chat now, if you happen to see. Okay. Now, okay, what can such meditators do to help themselves? Okay, all right. First of all, there are many meditators who get stuck, whether they realize it or not. Most of the time that when I came to know about it, that most yogis does not know that they are stuck. Most yogis, they do not know that they are stuck. If they know they are stuck, they will do something already. So most of them, they do not know that they are stuck, and they think that they are progressing, or they believe that they are progressing. That's the problem. If you know If you know, then you will not get stuck. And because of unknowing and believing wrongly that we think that we are still progressing, then this one is even more stuck, in that sense. Now, why do people do not know that they are stuck and they're not going anywhere? One of the reasons is that this craving, and this craving is very deep. I mentioned those things about when I talk about, especially when we talk about the 10 imperfections of insight, and also I stretch it out also into where? Into samatha meditation also. Into samatha meditation. So here, when they meditate, and most of the time is this pleasant feelings or calm feelings or these tranquil feelings. Just because that they have these feelings, this emotion or this state of mind, however you want to call it, they felt that they are progressing very well and they are progressing good. And a lot of times most of the people that I've seen in the past, that they are stuck because of that pleasant feelings, pleasant states of mind. And every time when they sit down, they are looking for that feeling. They want to have that feeling. And they believe that because why do they believe that they are progressing? First of all, because they are comparing. They are comparing with their everyday life, which is very luan, very, very restless and a lot of things that you have to do. And then now when you go into a meditation, then your mind is calm and peaceful and tranquil. Don't you think that you will believe that you are progressing? So many people fall into that trap. Many people fall into that trap. You tell somebody, somebody without much of knowledge, you come and then you go and experience leg pain here, buttock pain, neck pain. You think that one progress? Nobody will going to think that as progress. Nobody is in the worldly mind will think those things as progress. But exactly when you want to progress, especially like in Vipassana, you're going to see all this type of pain and so on. Then it is a certain degree of progress. But most people don't believe that. They want the pleasant feelings. So this is one of the things that people get stuck very far. Now, until these people by themselves, after a while, they meditate that they're still in that state of calm and peaceful or light. After that, they see that they don't go anywhere anymore. This meditation also like that. Next meditation also like that. After a while, they feel that my meditation is not getting anywhere. Then only they start to realize that they are stuck. Then they know that something wrong. How come it's not progressing or neither this and that? But that, to able to realize that, for some people take about 20 years, 30 years only they realize it. Do you have 20, 30 years right now? A lot of people don't have the 20, 30 years. So until they realize that this is stuck, until they know that they are not progressing, then only they begin to open up their mind. Or they seek some remedy to overcome if they still have meditation disorder. Now, again, sometimes, then after that, another thing is that sometimes they are in that state. They think that they are progressing, but somehow or another, by their good karma, they hear a meditator or a friend or a speaker or a teacher spoke about this type of situation. Then only they realize that they are not going anywhere. Then only they kind of like so-called awaken, from that slumber, Then only they do something about it. Every now and then when I give the talk, there are this type of talk. There are one or two awaken from it. Not enlightenment, but at least awaken from this one. Better than nothing. At least you got some way to go. So this is one thing. This is one thing. Another thing. Also, another thing is that why meditators get stuck and cannot progress further, is that they are attached, inverted comma, but they don't realize it. They're attached to their present experiences. They can be still quite clear, That means, for example, if they're doing vipassana, rising and falling, sitting, touching, or in breath, out breath, and they can see things are changing. They can see things are changing. But then, after a while, the change starts to become different from their present one. It changed from their normal, what they see on normal, and then things are happening already, right? But then the yogi does not want to go and see the new one. He wants to see the old one because after some time they have that comfort zone already. They sit down there, pay attention. Oh, this rising, falling, very nice. New one coming in, few bo song. Put it aside first. Wait. Just to see what I want to see first. When it happens like that, then the yogi also gets stuck. Because especially because the next coming, the new experience that's come out, and it's connected with dukkha. You even don't want to even go to touch that. You want to still see the anicca changing here and there because it's easy to see. But when it comes to the new experience, come to touch on the dukkha aspect, when it's unpleasant, unreliable, there's unsatisfactory. You kind of like the mind that don't want to see what I'm good at. This again is because of the yogis is attached of what is the present happening, and this one can happen with the yogi, which is in the deeper aspect of the practice too. And also again, they get stuck in the practice, especially when you are supposed to pay attention to what is really going on with the pain and pushing and tightening and how it changed and all that thing. Many yogis don't want to see what is really going on with those processes. They want to stay with the object which is easier. Rising, falling, sitting, touching, thinking, planning. Then they don't want to go into this pain aspect. Because pain is difficult. And a lot of times this type of pain arises. And part of their arising is part of the progress. And then they don't realize that. So a lot of time people just want to stay in their comfort zone. They are not want to push a bit more further. So that's why they get stuck in many ways. Get stuck in even in deeper ways. There are people who stuck in deeper ways. They are not stuck like they do not know one another. Some people purposely want to get stuck. For what reason? Because there's some people don't want to be enlightened yet. They want to, say for example, meet the next Buddha. Or they have aspiration to become a Buddha. Or they want to reborn in the certain planes of existence or whatever their idea is like, So because of their adhitthana, because of they make that type of vows, then no matter how they meditate, they cannot go further. They still put to jhana or still there, and they cannot go any more further. Because they already put that adhitthana, they are very blocked. They block it already. It's like that, no? But the biggest problem with stuck one, you know what? Laziness, that one. That one. Laziness to practice, laziness to this one, that one, you sure stuck one, that one. Of all those things that I just now mentioned, that one, it's, yes, they still can get unstuck because they still meditate, But if you are lazy, everything also you will get stuck. You are neither here nor there. In fact, that they are going to detrimental also. In fact, the mind goes into all those things. So make sure that you put in some effort to do something. Then only you can able to get out of that stuck position. And sometimes in the meditation also, as if you are going stuck for a while, But nevertheless, you just make sure that you put in the effort. Then things will get better. It's just a matter of time only. But if you want to put the effort, you are just there where you are, or even detrimental. All right. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it for tonight. Already 10 o'clock already. Okay. Nothing else. Okay. Let us share merits now.